What is going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to come back to you. I wanted to bring you a story out of New Mexico. What the governor of New Mexico is doing. Again, she is banning guns, banning open carry of guns outright in certain places in Albuquerque and I believe one other area in New Mexico. She is banning guns. Again, you can't carry guns in those areas. You can have them in your car in some kind of locked device, some kind of lockbox, but you're not allowed to, carry guns at all. So again, because of crime, she believes that again, if she goes after all guns, law-abiding citizens, then she'll somehow reduce gun violence. We truly have got to understand that if you get rid of legal guns, legally carried guns by law-abiding citizens, you're not going to reduce gun violence. You're not going to do so. The only way you're going to reduce gun violence is, again, by getting rid of the criminals and prosecuting the criminals that are doing so.
A major announcement today, a bold step in the fight to prevent gun violence, and a decision that is sparking widespread outrage tonight. She has announced a temporary gun ban in public places in Albuquerque and Bernalillo County. Tonight, we're explaining the details of this announcement, and we have a lot of new backlash to bring you tonight. Griffin Rushton is here. Griffin, you were at this announcement. We have a lot to go over, but we will note this is a part of a public health order.
Yeah, that's right. She took this step after declaring a public health emergency last night. She's adamant New Mexico is facing a gun violence crisis, especially after this week's deadly road rage shooting. The order suspends open and concealed carry laws for the next 30 days in cities or counties with significantly high violent crime rates and firearm-related hospital visits. That means this order only applies to Albuquerque and Bernalillo County, and there are several exceptions. The order does not affect law enforcement or licensed security officers. It also does not include private properties, licensed firearm retailers, legal firing ranges, and shooting competitions. However, anyone traveling between those locations must store their guns in a locked container or safety box.
Purpose is to try to create a cooling off period while we figure out how we can better address public safety and gun violence.
There's a couple things, guys, I want to address. Number one, we got to be honest, man. Again, they're not coming after the criminals. They're going after you. They truly are. And we got to understand that they are trying to, again, cut down on gun violence. They're trying to cut down on gun violence by going after the people that actually obey the laws. Because again, we truly got to be honest, the people that are going to obey this temporary ban on guns are the people that obey the law, not the criminals. They don't care. They don't tend to obey the laws, which is really interesting. That's why the criminals, again, the reason why criminals do things that are against the law is because they're criminals. So again, they don't care. Man, you can put whatever ban on whatever. They don't care. Again, you have bans on drugs. You have bans on murdering people, on crime, on robberies and everything else. But again, criminals, they tend to overlook that, don't they? They tend to say, you know what? I don't care. If I want to kill somebody, guess what? They're going to kill somebody. If they want to rob something, if they want to steal somebody's car, guess what? They're going to. So we have truly got to be honest about that. All this band is doing is taking guns away from law-abiding citizens of the country, of those counties. That's it. That is truly it. We have got to be honest about that. Again, in no way is it going to make things better. In no way. Because again, the ones that they're doing stuff, Again, what you want to crack down on is a crime. That's a criminal. The criminals that are committing the crimes. You have got to be honest about that. And again, this whole idea of calling things gun violence, again, it's just violence. Again, we have got to be honest about that. There's no such thing as gun violence. There's just violence. And again, violence happens at the hands of criminals. We have got to be honest about that.
Part of that includes collecting new data. The order also requires all New Mexico hospitals report more information on gunshot victims, including their age, gender, ethnicity, and the type of gun used. It's also calling for wastewater testing for certain drugs like fentanyl at all public schools. Additionally, the order directs CYFD to take another look at its juvenile probation protocols, a clear sign this order is targeting youth gun violence.
It should horrify every American and every New Mexican that so many young people and so many individuals with no training, with reckless criminal behaviors, are openly carrying firearms in our communities. I'm horrified.
The governor said today more state police officers are heading to Albuquerque, and her order is also committing state resources to arrest more suspects with outstanding warrants. Now, we should add...
Again, this woman, she is a damn clown. She truly is. We got to be honest, man. Again, if they have criminal records, they're criminals. Again, they don't need to be carrying guns anyways. And again, that's against the law for them to carry guns. So again, we have truly got to be honest about that. People out there committing crimes, exhibiting criminal behavior, which is what she said. Guess what? They're criminals. That's who you need to go after. But again, you don't need to have a ban on a temporary ban on legal gun owners that they can't carry their guns. Again, they're not the ones exhibiting criminal behavior. We have truly got to be honest about that. And again, the best way to go about getting those people that are committing crimes to stop is by going after those people, which again, I see that you're doing. You're saying that you want more law enforcement and that kind of stuff. Again, that's what you need to do. You can't go after people that obey the damn laws that are legally carrying their firearms. You can't go after them because, again, we have truly got to realize you are going after people's rights. You're going after people, the Constitution. You're going after people's ability to defend themselves from crime, which, again, is what I believe the national leftist agenda is to begin with. Again, we truly got to understand that. Look at these leftist cities and everything else. They're letting people get away with crimes. And again, the only way that people are able to stop themselves from becoming a victim is, again, to carry a weapon to make sure they don't become a victim. And you're taking that away from them.
Almost immediately, this decision sparked a lot of opposition from many different areas in our state.
Yeah, and the governor was expecting that. She said today that she was expecting legal challenges, and she said that not all the public safety officers that she met with to make this decision agree with her, and that includes Bernalillo County Sheriff John Allen. In a statement, he says, "While I understand and appreciate the urgency, the temporary ban challenges the foundation of our Constitution. I am wary of placing my deputies in positions that could lead to civil liability conflicts, as well as the potential risks posed by prohibiting law-abiding citizens from their constitutional right to self-defense." APD Chief Harold Medina sent a message to his officers tonight saying they will not be enforcing the governor's order. Albuquerque Mayor Tim Keller echoed that message, saying that's up to state police officers. New Mexico Republican leaders and Albuquerque City Councilor and police union leaders have also sharply criticized the governor's decision, largely calling it unconstitutional. Republican Party Chairman Steve Pearce added, the governor admitted she knew her order is unconstitutional and says her order puts citizens in a dangerous situation and is outright illegal. The governor directly addressed those concerns today.
All the examples you cited are crimes. Kids shooting at other kids, shooting from cars. So what's the value of the civil order? Why not just do better law enforcement?
Both. The value of the order is that it gives me three things. One, it says it's a statewide issue and it's a message to everyone to start leveraging their resources and arresting people. Two, the jurisdictions come at this, including with the DOJ restrictions, differently, without the leveraging and the additional resources, arresting, and where do they go? We got to make sure that everyone is bumping up their services. It's a message to the Metropolitan Detention Center. It's a message to the HMOs. You better figure out treatment. We have been sort of stalled out, to your point. This order basically says, stop stalling out, and to your point, just arrest everyone. Well, I also have to have the ability, I can't arrest everyone. There are literally too many people to arrest.
Well,
this would allow us,
if someone's got a concealed carry permit in Albuquerque walking down a public street, they're not going to get arrested.
I can make the point that they should be. And this is the point. I'm willing to do anything and everything within a shred of evidence-based effort. Because if you're not horrified that on any street corner in too many cities in New Mexico, there is someone with a gun sticking out of their waist or their belt.
It's truly scary to hear Democratic politicians that are willing to do whatever it takes, they say, to again address the criminal problem. They will do whatever it takes, man. They will go after legal rights, your right to defend yourself. They will go after that to address criminal behavior. Again, we have got to truly understand that does not work, and it will not work. Again, what they're doing is, again, they're sanctioning you. They're saying you're the problem, even though you're not the problem. Even though the criminals are the problem, they know the criminals are. But again, they're going to throw everything at it if they can. And again, we have to understand that's not going to work. That's going to trample people's rights.
No constitutional right, in my view, including my oath, is intended to be absolute. There are restrictions on free speech. There are restrictions on my freedoms. In this emergency, this 11-year-old and all these parents who have lost all these children, they deserve my attention to have the debate about whether or not in an emergency we can create a safer environment.
The governor says she plans on using all the data they're collecting to decide if this public health order should be extended or potentially modified once the 30 days are up.
Right, at least 30 days, it'll be in effect, and we'll keep asking the governor's office whether they plan on extending that when it gets.
It's going after your rights. She is going after individual rights. The people that actually obey the laws, she is going after you. And she is trying to make you believe that, again, by somehow getting rid of guns that are legally owned by people that obey the laws, again, she's somehow going to do something about the crime. And again, she's not. And what she's doing, again, is, what so many of these Democratic politicians are doing. They run on the idea of getting rid of guns. They run on the notion of restricting guns. Again, guys, we have got to be honest. The only way to deal with crime is to address the crime. You have to go after crime. This problem of people being assaulted by guns. So guess what? We're going to go after all guns. That's what we're going to do. Again, same thing if people are being assaulted by baseball bats. So again, we're going to go after all baseball bats. not the ones that the criminals are using, not the criminals themselves, but the baseball bats. Again, what she is doing is she's casting a very wide net, and the net includes your rights. And again, she's not going to make any difference by going after legal guns by legal gun owners. No, it's not going to make one bit of difference. Again, guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
You son of a.